Ha ha ha. It just completely broke and failed the last time I tried this, so we're trying it again, and hopefully this time it will not let me stream for 8 minutes and then cut my signal off. So that's never happened before, but we'll see. Anyway, where was I? Yes. Yes. Okay. As I was saying before my stream stopped for no good reason, I am EQing the tambourine. Just roughly, nothing too extreme, but I'm trying to take out most of the low end, basically all the low end, and then boost these high mids a little bit. Not to the point where it's annoying, but just to the point where the natural timbre of my very cheap children's tambourine can shine through. Unfortunately, my initial timer also went off while I was not on sorry. Ruined my first initial stream and it just threw me off. I'll never recover. My first timer for the first challenge went off. It has been 5 minutes, meaning it's time for me to return to the wheels. So atop this solid tambourine track, it wants only right channel bass guitar. Okay. I think I can make that happen. Let's see if... Wait, are you kidding me? Only right channel bass guitar. Okay. I think I can make that happen. I guess it's working. I need to listen to myself twice. Fingers crossed. We'll see. But it does appear to be working. Okay. So, back to producing the challenge list. In 25 minutes, need to record bass, guitar, but only in the right channel. There we have it. Okay. Back to the producing. So, I hate to disappoint. I'm afraid I don't actually have a bass guitar on me. All I have is a guitar, which I could use and pitch it down, try to figure out something with that. But instead, I'm going to do the classical move and simply use MIDI bass. If you don't know what MIDI stands for, I don't either, but it basically just means an entirely digital instrument that is synthesized by a electronic oscillator as opposed to an actual stringed instrument. I use nocturnal bass. And it works real good. Is the sound of me hitting the keys on the keyboard louder than the bass itself? It really is. Freaky. Oh, but I can bring my playback rate back to 1 and change these, of course, to 1 as well. Hopefully that does not destroy the timing of everything. It really did. So, while I totally do not forget to set my current timer like I did last time, there we go. Timer's going. And now I'm going to I guess just cut this and try to make it good. A little classic, what's the word I'm looking for? Hand manipulation of the audio track to make it line up perfectly with my desires. Seems like the whole thing got a little slower, maybe. That's kind of just inconsistent. I didn't play it very tight on the metronome to begin with. You can see I'm just lining up these transients with the beats themselves. Hopefully that will yield a very good, crisp, and on-time result. Yeah, that works. Now, the bass. I'm just going to start by recording a blank MIDI track. I like G. That feels right for this one. Oop. Not quite what I'm looking for. Give me a straight eighth note. That's not even what I'm looking for. I think I need a 16th note. It's unprecedented. That's not even what I'm looking for. What am I looking for? A triplet, maybe? There we go. Then I can go back to straight quarters, maybe? I don't know. What am I, some kind of music producer? See what we got so far. Yeah. And I'm basically just going to copy this whole line. Well, literally copy the whole line. But see if it works transposed up a little bit. Oh yeah, now we're getting fun. All right. Classic copy and paste. It's really turning into something. I mean, it's only 2 parts with no proper mixing or anything, but it's turning into something. Speaking of mixing, you know what I gotta add? First off, classic EQ. Boost the low end a little bit, because it is a bass guitar after all. Cut the high end a little bit, because, you know, bass. I think I'm gonna do, let's see, one more full repetition of that pattern. So, A, C, and V. That way it'll, you know, just loop once over on itself. And then, let's see, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 times. A classic mathematical music creation. Next up, I want to change it up a little bit. think I might need triplets again. For a bit of a Valve Studio Orchestra TF2 theme song vibe during this part. Or would it be swung? Maybe dotted. I don't know, let's see how this sounds. Oh, needs a little bit less of a gap. And less of that. Maybe that's all I needed. Haha. That's a little too fast, actually. I'll just do 2 there. Sweet. Not quite. It's good enough for me. And of course, this means you can select everything. Copy and paste. Haha. Let me line up these tambourine tracks now. First off, I'm actually going to glue them. Copy, paste, of course. And then I'm going to glue those, so I have one big long tambourine track. I'll cut it off right there. Oops. Another copy, paste. And we will see what I'm working with so far. No, my turn now. Now that's fun. Real quick, just for clarity's sake, call this track tambourine. And we call this track bass guitar. And you know what? It's bass. It's a very purple sounding instrument. I'm going to make this track a nice violet. There we go. Add a little color. And yeah, while I'm here, what color is a tambourine sound? It's very high pitched, very clicky. We go with very light cyan. Ooh, vibrant. I dare say all I need to do is add a couple of effects to these, like light reverb on both of them. So I add a light reverb to everything. There's really no reason not to, most of the time. It's a little too extreme for me, at least for this. There we go. Just adds a little bit more presence, a little bit. It makes it feel more like the bass is in the room with you, if you will. So now, grab the tambourine, do the same. Technically, I guess I should force myself to only work on the bass track while the timer is going, but nah. Now this one, I might go with the crazy reverb, because that actually doesn't sound too bad. think since this is going to be like a basic piece of background music, I'm probably just going to take that, loop it maybe like 6 times or something. Just get like 3 minutes out of what I got so far. And then I'll add a little ending lick for the bass, which I'll probably just extend from this. Let's go straight TF2 with that one, except it's in the wrong rhythm. Tell you what, I'm going to make this one super brief. See how that sounds. All right. Decent little ending part there. However, I don't want that to be throughout the whole track, so I guess I'll just grab here. Oh, not deleted. Grab this guy, and this guy, and this one, and these guys, and go, ooh. And then, naturally, so you grab this guy, and this one, and these guys, and boom. I've got myself a perfect recipe for repeating formula, which sounds groovy and shall bring great joy to the masses. Let's see, that's 52 measures, which puts us at 1.5 minutes. I'll do it a couple more times because, again, no lyrics or anything. It's just going to be a basic instrumental background that you're not even really paying attention to anyway. So I don't think it's the end of the world if it's kind of simple and repetitive. All right. Oops, I don't know why I copied it. I'll just move this down to like there. Okay, that's 6 minutes. That's slightly too much of this simple instrumental track got there. Can I just select it all without like destroying everything? Nope. Shift click it is. Okay. Get this back in the right position. And this will leave us at 3.5 minutes, which is much closer to what I was looking for. Much more of a reasonable goal. So, all it's left to do is, again, grab one of these guys, top to bottom, copy, and paste until there is no, or like there's no tomorrow. Oh, not there. Now, this might be easier if I just went straight quarters. Okay. Well, I guess I just have to shift this position a little bit. Should be enough. There we go. The joys of production. Glorious. Oops. All right. see where I need this guy. Right about there. Same deal over here. Just getting everything lined up, putting all my tambourines in the right spot. You know how it is. Once more. We're lined up. And of course, it's an inconceivable mistake. Once more, and finally, I'm gonna have to do this like 4 more times. Awesome. There we are. And there. One more? No, 3 more still. Wishful thinking. Maybe I could have done this in groups. I probably could have, honestly. I'll give that a try. Yeah, that was a bit faster. Oh well. It is done. Turn my snapping back on. Alrighty. Well, in spite of the fact that I have 7.5 minutes left, I'm going to go ahead, end this timer, and go on to my next challenge via the wheel. So I have 20 minutes. I'm not fucking tambourine again, man. Come on. 20 minutes and no high end, but with what instrument? Drum set. Okay. Interesting. Oh. Virtual instrument with my Moto drum. And that's loading up. Oh wait, I gotta hit no. Come over here. And switch back to the right screen. Damn. Before finally altering my text. Record, what was it, drum set? Drum set. But, the bass is only in the right channel, damn it. Well, I mean, it's just, yeah. That certainly is some right channel bass. Okay. But only with no high end. Which, for those of you watching, if you aren't very familiar with the music producing world, high end is a term just for any frequencies that fall when you're looking at a sound wave. Through something like an equalizer. This shows you the volume level on the y-axis, and then the particular frequency within the sound, which is loudest, on the x-axis. That probably doesn't make any sense, but if I play this tambourine track, you can see every time that tambourine sound plays, every time that sound happens, it's tracking all the frequencies that are audible within that sound. And using something like an EQ, you can either boost certain parts of it or completely remove certain parts of it. So there's a little nugget of wisdom for everybody out there. If you're interested in making some music of your own, always use EQ for everything, no matter what. I digress. Gotta start my 20-minute timer. And hit the bass. Wait, the drum. Real quick. What color represents drums the best? Maybe like a soft blue. Yeah, it works. What am I trying to do here? Record, that's what I'm trying. It's just that easy. Probably enough. So now I can take this, extend it to its logical limit, which is just as long as the rest of the track. Yeah, there we go. And lest I forget, before I set up the drums, I have to remove all high-end frequencies. Oops. I clicked the wrong equalizer, it's all falling apart. There we go. Okay. This might provide a better example of sort of what I'm talking about with high end and low end and EQ and all that stuff. All the high end is now gone from the drums when the EQ is on. So if I turn that off, you can hear. Okay. Normally it's like, let's see if I go to bouncing. Damn. Customize. That's what a drum set sounds like. Take away all the high end. The kick drum itself will still be perfectly audible because that's almost entirely bass or low end. God, that snare. Just so like wet and weak now. Oh well. Let's see what I can get going here. I'm gonna start with the classic 2 tom hits. Not like that. Maybe 16ths. Alright, that is better. What? It's not even on triplets or anything. Maybe it should be? Oh, and I gotta get my metronome back. That's important. Hold on, this is throwing me off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Haha, just what I was looking for. The kick will be a saving grace. Because again, you can actually hear it. Most of the cymbals and stuff are going to be totally washed out by everything else. But not the kick. Trying to do something kind of fun with rhythm as well. Get a little goofy and bouncy on this one, if you will. Don't need 16th triplets anymore. Maybe just straight 8th nuts. Guess not. A little bit early on that last note, I think. Once again, copy and paste. It's starting to come together, though. I'm starting to hear something here. Once more, and then I'll figure out what to do in that part where the bass goes up a little bit, but let's see what I got so far. All right. Maybe just a very simple snare and snap rhythm, and you might be able to hear it in the background. That's kind of audible. Can't go wrong with a 2 and 4. Repeated ad nauseum, of course. And one final time. Put it all together. All right. Removing all high end was less disastrous than I had anticipated. I'm going to do something I occasionally do and double up the snare hits with another instrument, in this case the cowbell. I might change it to clap, but we'll see how this sounds. Maybe I should add a cymbal, because, I mean, again, you're not going to hear too much of it, but just for that kind of background, constant ride. There we go. Head to eighth notes and swing them, of course, for that fun feel. Of course, the classic copy and paste, can't go wrong. I might just keep that hi-hat rhythm going and change what the snare and kick are doing at that point. I will grab all of this stuff. Oops. All of it. All of it. If I can. There you go. And then, boom. And then, you can't miss the cowbell track. That's the most important part of the song, in my opinion. See how it sounds with a little hi-hat groove. Oh, it's already off. All right. Just to remind everybody, if I didn't have to EQ it like this, little ascending snare, whatever you want to call it. I feel like that would fit quite well there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, start it at 11.3. And just go. Da, 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 da. Take these, and I'm going to. Oops. Thought you could do that. Guess not. I'm going to just make them kind of go up in volume as they are played. See how that turned out. Nice. And I will just take that exact same phrasing, copy paste it, and bring it up to sweet. This has turned into something yet. I really need something in the left channel to balance out that bass, because it doesn't sound bad. It's got a very fun vibe so far, but I don't know, it's very right heavy at the moment. Going to grab these guys and this, implement it where it needs to be, as well as getting the rest of these swung notes in the right spot. Oops, that was not right. There we go. Awesome. Ooh, what? Ooh. Why? Why? Sorry, all of these hi-hat parts are for some reason very slightly early, like incredibly slightly behind. Is that from the beginning? Yeah, I guess so. How did that even... Everything's set to snap to the grid automatically. I don't get it. But here we are. And then I don't want this guy to double up. And also, all of these are early, I guess. But I guess that was right. It's the new stuff that was wrong. I don't know. Oh, yes, because I need the longer of the two notes to line up with the bar, not the shorter one. Right? I think so. Yes, that seems to be right. Okay. Bit of self-confusion there, but what can you do? There we go. Get rid of the double. That wasn't double. Okay. I'm just all over the place tonight. But that's fine, because we got ourselves a drum track. I've still got a few minutes, though. I'm going to maybe see if I don't want this rhythm on hi-hat, because it is completely dead silent. Like, can't even tell it's there. Ooh, actually, maybe I should do that on the cowbell. I'm going to do something unheard of. Switch that to clap. And switch all of these to the glorious, hearty cowbell. And I'm going to use a feature called Humanize, which just means it's going to take all these notes that are on a grid, and they're currently on a grid, but once I humanize, they will be much more natural sounding, and they won't be exactly on time with the metronome, which is actually almost always a good thing, especially with drums. It's also going to randomize the velocity, which means the power with which the drum is hit. So this should just add a lot of very human-like variation to the playing. Sweet. All together now. I just realized what's wrong. I'm going to do 3 at a time. And hopefully, if all goes well, this will be much more, I don't know, good. It wasn't horrible before, but I don't want the cowbell doing just exactly the same thing as the tambourine. Otherwise, what's the point? That is looking good. How much longer? I'm basically to the end already. Now I can start playing it and actually see how it'll sound when it's on. I accidentally did some cowbell flams there, and it actually sounded pretty cool. I don't know if I can replicate that in the recording. I suppose I could, but I only got 2 minutes left. Ooh, and another crash right here. It's like the same one. Also the same. There we go. I was gonna say, I know for a fact this drum set has more than one cymbal. Guess it's right there. Make it loud. Can't tell at all. And obviously I can't keep it like this, but just for posterity's sake, I want to hear how it would sound with the high end. And with my final 1 minute left on the drum set, I'm going to change to this last fill. Let's see what I want to do with it though. Which I believe is just straight 16ths. 30 seconds. Uh-oh. Ah, that's it. That's all the time I got for the drums. Let me just make sure this fill sounds okay. I'm not going to change it if it doesn't, but I just hope it does. That'll work. It's kind of like Keep Fishing by Weezer, if you know that one. Bit of a classic tune. Oops. I'll tell you what, it probably is advisable at this point to save this stream song 2. Eventually, I am gonna take all that stream footage and edit it down into a concise format, and make some videos out of it. So you can look forward to that. But those of you who are here for the real experience, the live producing challenge, you'll know. Anyway, back to the wheel. I have 1 minute to record a clap track, but I have to switch it to 3/4. Okay. Got my 1 minute timer at the ready. I don't even think it's worth it to change the challenge text at this point, but I might as well. In 1 minute, record clap, but what sounds? Oh, in 3/4. Another classic musical term for you if you are not aware. Most basically, well, not basically all, but most music you hear is going to largely be in what's called 4/4 or common time. So that's what this is right now. If I just mute everything and listen to the metronome, you'll be able to hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. And the first beat is always signified by that higher pitched click. That is common time. So now what I have to do is, after having recorded all that in common time, switch to 3/4. See how it sounds against the metronome now. I'm just kind of curious. In fact, I'm going to insert a click track. Just so the metronome's actually audible over the rest of the music. Turn it up a touch. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. That's interesting. How am I going to clap along to that? Well, I guess that's for me to find out. Shift my drivers. And now it's time for the clap track. As is tradition, I'm going to change it to the color of a clap, which I would say is like a bright yellow. Yeah. All right. Oh, I can hear myself again, so now it's working. But you guys can't. I love the way this is set up. It's just so great. Okay. I might just clap on the downbeat for beat 1. Fuck man, I'll try it. Timer starts now. 1 minute. Let's go. fastest minute of my life. Well, there have been a few faster. Okay. Sorry, I'll let you guys hear, but there's something so funny about hearing this like nice bouncy like sort of rhythm track and then just a completely raw like wet slap. Now, technically speaking, I mean, you might consider it cheating to work on the track after my 1 minute has expired, but there's no shot. I'm just putting that raw, slightly moist clap with no EQ or anything into this track. That did not make it better. And maybe even a delay. I might get a little freaky on this one. Give us an echo. The basic 5-tap ping pong. That is horrible. Let's turn the wet down a lot. What, just give up at the end there? Man. Got some lame claps. Hopefully I can isolate it, make it louder, and put it in the right spot. Which I think are all advisable moves at this point. Now this is a bit early, and this is still late, and comically quiet, so up quite a few decibels. I almost feel like I should take off more high end and make it just like a mid instrument. Or perhaps a compressor at the beginning of the effects chain, which basically takes all your audio and squeezes it down into a more homogeneous volume. Maybe it's just for EQ. Something still seems off. Well, said record claps in a minute, and I recorded claps in a minute. I can always come back and mess with the EQ more later. For now, it is time for the wheels. So in 20 minutes, I have to record a whisper with a mid-band pass. Okay. Go into my challenge list here. In 20 minutes, record whisper, but with mid-band pass. Another bit of musical production lingo there. So a bandpass filter is basically a really forceful EQ. And I guess I can just show it to you when I get this new track ready. Actually, no, I'll use something else really quick. So if I go to my bass guitar here, and I add a band pass, what the fuck? Okay, and then I add a band pass that you can use, like, okay. Well, it's not always called a band pass, it's sometimes called a filter. And filter is what I prefer because I like the Moog 4-pole. Super simple. There's 3 types: low pass, high pass, and of course band pass. And the reason they call it that is because each of these little adjustment nodes on your EQ is called a band. So I'm sure you can imagine a low pass only lets low end through, like bass, stuff like that. A high pass is only going to do the opposite. It's only going to let your cymbals, your tambourine, your snapping and clapping, that kind of stuff through, and vocals. Vocals have a lot of high end. But band pass lets you just take one of these bands on any frequency and only hear that. So right now it is set to the highest possible band, 20,000 hertz. So if you listen to it, you can hardly even hear it. It's just the super clicky high end of the bass. Bring it to the very bottom. Just sub bass. And then as I scrub through, so I'll set it to 50. Cut that. Make sure the bass is on the right again. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I know it's supposed to be all like fully right. I'm going to go 70% because I just need a little bit of bass on the left side of my headphones. Just a touch. And then on this new whisper track, I'm just going to go ahead and paste that. So immediately I should only be getting the mid-most frequencies out of this. And really quick, I forgot I have to switch over to audio. And now, haha, oh, wait, hold on. Haha, I can hear myself. Oh, that sounds that sounds weird with a mid-band pass. But okay, I'm going to start recording, so I'm going to start the challenge timer. The question is, what do I whisper to a track like this? What should this song be for? I guess I could try to cheat and do like a cymbal noise with my mouth, like a something like that. Whisper, 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 whisper. I really have no idea what to record here. I guess I'll just let it play and try to think of something as I go. Whisper, whisper. Sorry if your cat was in the room for that one. I might have gotten a little bit excited. Hey, I mean, it's simple, simplistic even, but a little bit goofy at the end there, but I do honestly like just that very quiet background. Which is why, actually, maybe I don't need to cut that just yet, because I can go back here. And then, let's see, that goes like to the very, very end of, right here. I'm just about in the right spot. Okay. I'm gonna make this part a touch quieter because that's just too much. It's not the entire thing, but the part I clicked on. Haha. Doesn't sound like much, but now the song is just mostly because of the whispers, but also the kind of fun, groovy bass line. It's making me think of like something very secretive, something very mysterious. And this guy, I just have to get lined up there. Actually, I'm going to do something unheard of. Do that again. Let's give this a try. Again, I'm cheating a little bit. I'm editing the drums when I technically shouldn't. But who are you to try and stop me? I think that was actually just too far. Ooh, that's tricky. It's like syncopation. Although it's not what I was trying to do. I kind of like that though. Something to keep in mind. Sure. Come on, I believe in you. You can do it. So you got all the instruments together at the beginning. I also got to add a compressor to the bass. It's just too loud. I need to replace that with the triplet run-up. At least if I want to keep with my current strategy. Also, I'm just completely working on the drums at this point. Like, I'm not even doing a challenge anymore. Oh well. After I get these lined up, I can rectify my wrongdoings with another challenge. You know what I should do? Actually work on the whisper track, which I do plan on. But speaking of the whisper, I need to make this a quarter note, and make that 2 quarter notes, and make that 3 quarter notes, and then make that 4, and finally 5 quarter notes, or 10 eighth notes. Eighth quarter and half as much, you know how it is. Let me listen to this isolated. It's subtle, but I think it does add a little bit of body to the background. I dare say this has been quite the stream. I'm really liking how this is sounding, but it seems like it's just missing like 1 or 2 things. So I'm going to do either 1 or 2 more spins of the wheel. But I think I'm done with the whispers, at least for now. So, you know what that means. Ha ha ha. The wheel. Man, I'm getting a lot of long ones today. Oh my fucking yeah. Okay, I'm gonna veto this. In my first music producing stream, which this is only the second one, but the first time I successfully did this, I got an ocarina track that was +3 octaves. It was unlistenable. Like, I had to do so much to it, because if you don't know, hold on, let me keep myself incognito really quick. Lean over in full view. Okay. So this is an ocarina, or ocarina. I don't know. I think ocarina is technically right, but I've said ocarina ever since I played that Zelda game as a kid, and you're not going to change my mind. It is a pleasant enough wind instrument, kind of hard to play. Kind of hard to make actual good melodies with, because I'm not very experienced with it. All this to say, I'll do a 25-minute ocarina challenge, but I'm not doing +3 octaves. There we go. -3 octaves, I can work with. That's actually quite interesting. I'm excited to see how it turns out. Real quick, edit the old list in 25 minutes. I need to record the ocarina, but three octaves lower. And I'll use title case for style there. Okay. Let's give this the old college try. First things first, add a new track. Stop recording on that one. Do Control P. Don't destroy everyone's speakers. That's another thing I kind of accidentally did the last stream. I'm sure that was great for the one person that was watching me and just died a little bit on the inside. But I digress. First things first, I forgot to color the whisper properly. What color would a whisper be? Very light, very lime tealish. Yeah, kind of turquoise. That's good enough. And then ocarina. And since this is going to be real deep, I'm going to make it a nice deep red. All right. I do actually, even when I'm working on like personal projects for my band and such, I always custom color all the tracks, and then usually what I'll do is, like, just for example here, if I was doing distortion guitar, I would spell it right. Maybe. Probably not if it's just a project for me. But then I would do a left channel and a right channel, and then to keep them all organized together, I would just make them all the same color, whatever that color may be. But yeah, that's just a very good visual way of keeping track of everything, making sure you know what's going on. Now, I think it's the repitch that I need. Yes, yes. It needs to go down. 2 octaves, I suppose. No, I'm not gonna cheat you like that. I'll break it down to full 3. Okay. So if I hold on, just one more double check just to make sure. Okay, we're good. If I start recording on this track immediately, yeah, that's, oh, that is comically deep. Here, I'll show you a quick example. This is the normal, accurate, and average sound of my speaking voice. All right, and here is how that sounds with 3 octaves down. Which, yeah.
This is the
Sound like, what's that guy, Corpse? Yeah, weird, like, dude who always talks like this. Oh, oh, it's just so deep. Oh. uh, well, I mean, fuck Ocarina, sure. The one saving grace is, ooh, fuck. This is a very high pitched instrument on its own, you know, like without any fingers on it. It's just the lowest possible note you can produce, which is fairly low in comparison, but still relatively high register, I feel. Okay. Timer. Probably gonna finish this one early anyway, but I'll just record this and then see what happens. What more could I do? But first, there we go. Aha! I sound like me again. Okay. This thing's so hard to play. dare say that's about all I can produce on the old accordion. Let me switch it over and show you guys what I got so far. But of course, it has to be 3 octaves lower than that, so let's see how that sounds. Damn. Most of you probably can't even hear that. I didn't intend for the ocarina to be a sub-bass track, but you know what? It's working out. Let me just show you visually what this sound wave looks like right now. Oh my god. For reference, let me pull up an actual sub bass, like what you do in like a rap song or what have you. Let's see. Double whoppy. Oh, it's that. Yeah, great fucking bass, dude. Come on. Very bassy. Let's see here. Ah, oh, fuck. I got the wrong EQ. It's all falling apart again. Granted, the actual sub bass does have more bass, but just like putting the two of them together, you can see the unbelievable low register response I'm getting from this ocarina track. Anytime I breathe in, you can also hear it. It's like in super clear detail. I do think I can use that. At least to an extent. Oh, fuck, I never even put it back in 4/4. That's probably going to actually mess a few things up. No, we're good. Okay. Just start too early? Oh, I did. What kind of timing was I even doing there, dude? Is it like... What? Okay, I'm going to try this again. I still got time. Get my metronome. And unfortunately for you at home, I do have to switch my audio drivers every time I actually record something, so you won't be able to hear it for a second. But I'll remember to bring it back in afterwards. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. I think I need to cut in one more, unfortunately. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get right now. Oh, fuck. Okay. Come on. Up. And glue them back together. All right. Let me give you guys a sound. We'll see what I got here. And I do, in fact, need to cut one more of those in, which should be simple. Once again, through my favorite tool, the magic of copy and paste. Doesn't sound like much now, but when I make it sub-bass again, boom. Take that, copy, paste. Oh, what? Oh, there we go. And if I unmute everything else, see what we got. Okay. Well, they are completely out of tune with each other, which is kind of to be expected with the way I did this. But all I need to do to fix that is change the bass. Because if I start pitch shifting the ocarina track around, I mean, that kind of seems like cheating. That's the challenge, is specifically to have it exactly 3 octaves lower than it would be in real life. Hold on. It's a really hard pitch to nail down. Right there. Which is maybe C sharp. I think we found it. Naturally, that's way too high for a bass track, so I'll go C sharp 2. And actually, I don't know where that is supposed to start. Hopefully there. And now this is so low that it's actually starting to distort itself just because of the pure low frequency bass vibrations. Oh, someone's invited me to play Helldivers. Not a bad option when I'm done doing it. And now that the two basses are relatively in tune with each other, now we'll see how it all sounds. That part still is so loud. It ain't natural. And in my own time, I can take all this and extend it out so it's just under 4 minutes long. And then I can cut it into a background of videos and put it in streams, much like I did with the wheel music, which I can't hear, but you're hearing right now. Pretty cool. Speaking of the wheel, I'm going to leave this up to fate. There's nothing else I can do with the ocarina, I don't think, at least when it's checking 3 octaves too low. So, I'm going to end my challenge timer for that track and start the final challenge. Now, I will have a bit of a caveat. I'm going to make sure it's something melody-wise, because we have the least of that by far. This track is like 85% rhythm. So, I'm definitely going to force it to just, have a tune, have a melody to it. Oh, just the last second. So I have 37 seconds to record a synth track with no low end. Okay. Edit my little list here, which is kind of pointless because it's going to be there for 37 seconds, but 37 sec record synth, but no low end. It's just that easy. Oh, center that up. There we go. Add a quick synth track. Just call it, well, I'm not going to call it anything, but the noise maker. Start recording. This should theoretically just work. Oh, I already have one up there. Did I have to use that for anything? Oh, no, that's the one I just created. Duh. Okay. I'm all over the place, but this is the last track anyway, so that's fine. Of course, no low end means I have to drop in an EQ and remove all the bass, all the mids, till it's just lovely high-pitched. Doesn't that just sound great? But I can choose a different synth that might work better with only high end. So let's see. Already off. That one's fine. Works for me. Okay. Just to cross-reference, what is the low note on my bass track here? C#2, which is, in fact, alright, since I only have 37 seconds, I think that's all I can really do. Let's see. You can verify. That is, in fact, what I have my timer here set to. All right. Go ahead and start, and we can start recording. Quick 37 seconds. And as always, I'm going to cheat a little bit and immediately start working on the track after I have already utilized all my time. Makes it just like super ambient and backgroundy. I hope to God it's actually the right notes, because I'm pretty sure it is, but you never can tell. Kind of. But that's all I need to change. Is one of the notes is a half step too high, meaning it's horrible and dissonant and doesn't sound good. But if I simply fix it, it's just that easy. I should also probably, I don't know what I was doing with my fingers there. The timing is not exactly supreme. Maybe eighths. 3/8 notes per seems like the perfect spacing. Da, 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 da. And that's just the same thing again, but I want to be more consistent. So I'm going to take all this stuff and get it out of here. As a New Yorker might say, I'm walking here. What are those? Weird, man. I'm getting notes I didn't even know I put down. Freaky. Also kind of starts in a weird place on beat 2, which I guess is probably just how I had to set up the metronome, but still. You gotta tell it, go constantly through the whole thing. put that at the end here. Oh. Not like that. And technically, it's not even cheating because the last thing I recorded with my MIDI keyboard did only take 37 seconds. I'm perfectly within the clear. Clear all that. Stretch this out to its maximum. Bring it back a little bit because we don't need that much. All right, come on. All right. And that is about as simple as it gets as far as rhythm and tracking everything. Meaning, I can do my favorite. Just grab everything, get to the right spot, and copy paste. And accidentally, by pasting that in the wrong spot, I just realized something I absolutely need to do. Just take all of these and move them forward 2/8 notes. I think that's all I need. So, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who have watched the whole process start to finish at home, I started with nothing but a simple tambourine track. And now it has blossomed out into this. That turned my metronome off. There we go. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and take out that up until drums come back in. Alrighty. That there is the makings of a fine stream and or video song. And it's completely copyright free because I made it. That doesn't mean you can use it though. Get out of here. Unless you want to. I mean, you can. I'm not going to claim it. I think I can claim it unless I publish it and claim the rights and, have some company like look after the distribution and all that fun stuff. I'm not going to do that. And at this point, I am simply rambling up to the end of my stream, so might as well cut it off here. If you stopped by and checked out the music production for a while, thanks. Let me know what you think, or if you have any ideas for what I should do next, or if you have any ideas for the wheel. Any new challenges I could add, different instruments I could try. Maybe not instruments because I probably won't have it. I basically added every conceivable thing that I could record onto this list. But yeah, any new challenges, different amounts of time. Like if you want me to try to record a track in 5 seconds, I can't, but I'll try just for you. Um, and now I'm just going to watch the stream on my phone and see if it's caught up pretty well to real life, which it seems like it is. Doing a decent job. So I feel safe in saying that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite, and share, and type in chat, and follow me on Twitch, and wire money directly to the bank account on screen now. Yeah, that's about it.